It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yes, indeed, it is Monday, unmistakably Monday. You can't miss it, the start of the work week. And who knows what kind of lunacy we will have by the end of the week. All kinds of stuff going on, you never really know. But it is the start of the work week, and here we go. You know, I came up to the station this morning at 7 o'clock. And if you were out or looking out your window, boy, that right above the sunrise, it was gorgeous. Man, it was an absolutely beautiful sky. Orange, a number of shades of orange. It was just beautiful. Just beautiful. There's no artist like the master artist. If you get my drift, you just can't paint like that. People cannot paint like that. It was absolutely gorgeous. Well, let me see. It is Monday. Oh, that's right. The autumnal equinox occurred this morning at 3:50. So autumn is officially here. Yay, and there you go. Was it last Thursday? Either last Thursday or Friday. My wife asked me when the equinox occurs. Okay? When does autumn arrive? And I said, well, let me see. I looked it up. I said, 3:50 Monday morning on the 23rd. And she said, on the 23rd? And I said, yeah, on the 23rd. And she said, well, I don't like that. I said, well, how do you not like autumn arriving on September 23rd? And she said, it really ought to be on the 21st. And I said, well, okay, maybe it should, but this year it's on the 23rd. And she said, well, it really ought to be on the 21st, and I really don't like that. And I said, okay, so you don't like autumn arriving on September 23rd. But if I recall, a number of months ago, you told me that you hate daylight saving time. You just hate, and I never knew that. She hates daylight saving time. And she says, yeah, I don't like it. I never will. I never have. I said, so, okay, let's see if I got this straight. You don't like the autumnal equinox occurring on September 23rd. You don't like daylight saving time. May I ask you, is there anything you do like? Really, what's next? The vernal equinox? So you don't like autumn on the 23rd, you don't like daylight saving time. Probably, as I said, next will be the vernal equinox, and you can know a person for all these years, and you never really know them. It's kind of weird. Anyway, yes, we do have two clocks in our kitchen, by the way. One is set on standard time, and one is set on daylight saving time. So I have my clock, and she has hers. Now I guess we'll need two calendars. So I can mark the autumnal equinox, 23rd on mine, and on hers, I can put down the 21st. So she'll be happy, and I'll be happy, and everybody will be happy. Okay, well, what's coming up here? Thursday, as you heard on Brian's News, at 6:30 on Thursday, Hornell Republicans will hold a rally. And that'll be at the GOP headquarters at 121 Main Street. And if you don't know where 121 Main Street is, it's at the corner of Main and Broadway. So it starts at 6:30. It's free, of course. It's open to the public, and everybody's welcome, right? So you can meet Republican candidates for, all 10 city council seats are up for election. So you can meet the Republican candidates. And a number of other Republicans will be there, and it should be a really good time. So that's coming up Thursday at 6:30. And what else have we here? Oh, that's right. Coming up this weekend on Saturday is the first annual Maple City Fall Festival. And there'll be a lot going on. Main Street, on the Broadway Mall and all that. And that starts at noon and goes until 11 at night. And I think that's an absolutely great idea because at this time of year, not quite Thanksgiving yet, what do you do? A fall festival. I think that's a great idea. There'll be a farmer's market, and horse-drawn hay rides. There's going to be live entertainment, bands, pancake breakfast from 8 until noon. As I said, live music, a beverage tent for adults. There you go. There'll be, cider, an art auction. There's going to be a whole bunch going on. Downtown craft vendors. Yeah, there'll be a lot going on, and that's on Saturday. This coming Saturday from noon until 11. So that'll be fun. I'll try to find out a little bit more about that as the week goes on. Now, I was thinking about this, the climate protest, right? Global warming, climate change, all that stuff. And I have which there is no way I will hit all this stuff. There's only like so much time, and that's the way that goes. Now, as you know, of course, this massive worldwide student protest walkout, something or other, was spearheaded, organized by this 16-year-old girl from Sweden, Greta Thunberg. And it's kind of interesting because you probably won't read this or see this or hear this anywhere else. But her climate strike is timed to within weeks of, guess what, a book release by her mother, who is also an activist. So by purest chance, I'm pretty sure of purest chance, this whole thing was timed within weeks of a book release by her mother about activism. Also, the climate strike idea came from a climate activist, not 16 years old, Bo Thorin. So you might make a note of that. That's kind of interesting. So this past Friday, a couple of days ago, gazillions of high school students and college students were out there protesting climate change. In the first place, how do you protest climate change? How do you protest the climate? I mean, really? The climate is caused by the sun. So I don't know exactly how you're going to protest the sun, but I guess I suppose you can give it a shot. Anyway, on Friday, before that, I'm thinking, how do you criticize a teenager without seeming like some insensitive, mean-spirited jerk? How do you criticize a teenager? And then I think, well, wait a minute. These kids have put themselves in the public arena. And once you're in the public arena, you can be criticized. Right? If you're a private citizen minding your own business, no, not really. But if you're in the public arena, you can be criticized. Right? And as near as I could tell, from reading all these sources, this whole thing has been ginned up by climate activists. I don't think it occurred organically and spontaneously from a 16-year-old girl in Sweden. I seriously, seriously doubt that. How could you possibly think that? Right? So it's probably been promulgated by people who are not 16-year-old girls from Sweden. Right? So all these kids are on a sugar high. You might call it a climate change sugar high. I mean, they're all ginned up and jazzed up over this thing. And it all deals with changing the system. And even adults involved in this will say the same thing. It isn't really about climate change. It's about changing how we look at things, how we write, how we pay for things, how we do things, the capitalist system. That's what it's all about. Now, I believe I mentioned this on Friday, but I'm mentioning it again because it's worth mentioning again. And some people, some adults, who are for this big, massive, right now, can't wait, immediately climate change thing, agenda or something, some of them you might know. How about Jerry Nadler? Have you heard his name before? Jerry Nadler. He's the head of the House Judiciary, and he's the one who is gunning for Trump. And he keeps pounding the drums, we got to get Trump, we got to get Trump, we got to get Trump, right? And, of course, Jerry Nadler and Donald Trump have had this long-standing personal feud from 1985. And now it's come to a head, and there's Jerry Nadler, and there's Donald Trump. Well, Nadler spoke at one of the several global climate strike protests on Friday. And now this guy is described as absolutely brilliant. This man is absolutely brilliant. And that's according to the New York Times, the Washington Post, the CNN, and all those. So Nadler said that the threat of climate change is greater than that of a world war. It's worse than a world war. He said, this is a quote, we have to make sure people feel the depth and the immediacy of this crisis which is approaching us much more rapidly and much worse than the scientists proposed 20 years ago, which is a lie, and 10 years ago. That's what he said. So climate change is worse than a world war. Nadler said the fight against climate change is, quote, more important than a world war, which could leave hundreds of thousands dead. That's according to that's climate change. So he says we must mobilize immediately. Okay, but wait, there's more. Because he also said Friday, the impact of climate change will reduce the planet to, quote, bacteria and maybe a few plants. That's Jerry Nadler. That's just two examples of the brilliance of Jerry Nadler, who is now leading the charge against President Trump. He said, bacteria and maybe a few plants. Okay, fine. He said, I have a 13-year-old granddaughter, and when I look at her, I get terrified. I don't know what his granddaughter looks like, but that's what he said. I get terrified. I don't know if human life will survive 50 years. This is Jerry Nadler. We may face, the climate scientists tell us, that we may face the 6th mass extinction in the history of the globe. And that is what he said. So, the impact of climate change will reduce the planet to bacteria and maybe a few plants. That's what it's going to do. Really? Well, a few little facts here. I just thought I'd throw these in right now. The Earth is 4.3 billion years old. Right? 4.3 billion years old. Give or take a year or two. Well, you can't really weigh the Earth because you can't weigh it because weight is something else. But the mass of the Earth is 7 sextillion tons. 7 sextillion tons. Now, 1 sextillion is 1,000 trillion. 1,000 trillion is 1 sextillion. So the mass of the Earth would be 7 sextillion tons, and that would be 7 followed by 21 zeros. That's the mass of the Earth. So it's been here 4.3 billion years. It weighs 7 sextillion tons. The rotational speed of the Earth at the equator is 1,000 miles an hour plus, little over 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. So you're telling me that by driving a car or something is going to knock this thing out of whack? Are you crazy? That's insane. The Earth has been here 4.3 billion years, weighs 7 sextillion tons, and rotates at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. And we're actually going to have an impact on that? Are you kidding me? To me, that sounds very close to like a God complex. That's really bizarre. But a lot of these people who are with global climate change, we have to do something right now. Really? You know, now a number of them are really honest. And they will say that the object of all this lunacy, all this insanity, is not climate change. The object is system change. System from what to what? System from capitalism to what? Socialism. That's what it's really about. And some of them are honest, like AOC, a bunch. So, yeah. So that's really the object. As I said, how we're going to knock, the Earth, just not going to happen. Okay, what else have we here? I have so much this morning, I wouldn't even hit 1/5 of it. I don't know. Okay, the Democrats, especially the presidential candidates, are all against beef consumption, right? Beef consumption is bad for the planet. I'm not precisely sure how they figure that, but they all say it. Beef consumption is very, very bad, and it's going to contribute to a climate catastrophe, right? So, in order to fight climate change and prevent climate catastrophe by not eating beef, Democratic presidential candidates and a bunch of other Democrats attended some huge event in Polk County, Iowa, and it was Democrat Steak Fry. They served up, are you ready, 10,500 steaks. 10,500 steaks. at a 2020 Democrat steak fry despite their meat consumption climate change concerns. 10,500. Man, I wish I had been there. I mean, really, I'm not a Democrat, but it would have been nice. 10,500 steaks. Holy cow. Anyway, so there were 17 Democrats there. Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, Michael Bennet, Beto O'Rourke, Andrew Yang, he's a work, Pete Buttigieg, Julian Castro, Tulsi Gabbard, Tim Ryan, Tom Steyer, Joe Sestak, Stephen DeBullock, and Marianne Williamson. So they were at this thing about they want to fight climate change and all that. So you can't eat beef; it's bad for you, bad for the environment. And so they served up 10,500 steaks. Steak, beef. I think it's pretty much the same thing. So let me see. What else here? Who else? Let me see. Oh, yes. A big advocate for fighting climate change at all, who is called Greta, whatever her name, Thunberg, one of the voice of a generation. And she's a wonderful person. And let me see. In his never-ending fight against climate change, Barack Obama and his wife, Lady Michelle, of course, are planning to purchase a multi-million-dollar mansion in Martha's Vineyard off the coast of Cape Cod in Massachusetts. Now, this property costs approximately, it's a discount, it's $14,850,000. It has 28 beachfront acres, make a note of that, 29 beachfront acres and 7 bedrooms, and other things, a pool, a jacuzzi, outdoor fireplace, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, $14.8 million. Now, if he's so concerned about the glaciers melting and everybody's going to drown, and we've got to do something about climate change, why in the world would he buy a mansion on oceanfront? Right? Why would he buy an oceanfront mansion if he really believes that the climate is going to change and the glaciers are going to melt and we're all going to drown like rats? I don't know. Anyway, well, there you go. So, insurance. Boy, you know, if he has oceanfront property, he better get some flood insurance. Anyway, everybody needs insurance, right? Everybody. How about the Ryan agencies? I just put that out there. Well, I know that they're good. They are very, very good. They know what they're doing. They are insurance experts, as a matter of fact. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They're friendly. They're local. They don't work for any one insurance company. They have all these insurance companies out there, and you tell them what you need, and they'll go, let me see here. How about this one? This would best suit your needs. They know what they're doing. They're friendly, and they're local. They are the Ryan agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
Check a week 3 in the NFL. Sunday night, the Rams beat the Browns 20-13. LA's off to a 3-0 start. Quarterback Jared Goff, 2 touchdown passes in the win. In the late action, the Saints, without injured star quarterback Drew Brees, beat the Seahawks 30-27. Teddy Bridgewater, a pair of touchdown passes for New Orleans. Giants, behind 4 touchdowns from rookie quarterback Daniel Jones, beat the Buccaneers 32-31, rallying down 18 points on the road. 49ers beat the Steelers 24-20. San Francisco's 3-0. Pittsburgh is now 0-3 on the year. Panthers down the Cardinals 38-20, and the Texans beat the Chargers 27-20. In early action, Chiefs improved to 3-0 with a 33-28 win over the Ravens. Patriots down the Jets 30-14. New England's 3-0. New York is 0-3. Cowboys down the Dolphins 31-6. Dallas is 3-0. Miami 0-3. Packers take care of the Broncos 27-16. Green Bay's 3-0. Denver 0-3. Bills beat the Bengals 21-17. Buffalo's 3-0. Cincinnati is 0-3. Also wins for the Colts, Vikings, and Lions.
From the Fox Business Network, office rental company WeWork's biggest investor is looking to replace WeWork CEO Adam Newman. The investor, Japan SoftBank Group, was hoping WeWork would go public and boost the value of the company. Instead, the value of the IPO has been lowered and it's been postponed. The Wall Street Journal says the board is expected to meet as early as this week to decide how to handle the situation. You may be getting another option for inexpensive fashions. Primark tells Reuters it plans to expand in the U.S. It currently has 9 stores in the Northeast. General Motors is expanding the recall of Chevrolet Trax SUVs to cover 2015 to 18 models. There could be a faulty part in the braking system. The Dow was down 159 on Friday. NASDAQ lost 65. The S&P down 14. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, and just over $30,000. That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. Optima Tax Relief. They're the best in the business.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744.
Optima Tax Relief.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads and Hornell, New York, you'll find brand new 2019 Nissan Sentra SV models equipped with 16-inch alloy wheels, rear monitor, push-button ignition, and cruise control for just $15,999. Shop Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads or Hornell. Simmons-Rockwell.com.
You know, the last couple of days, I think it started last Wednesday, I fit this climate change protest a lot. And, you know, I know that there are only kids out there, at least like the majority, okay? But you have to think that in very short order, a lot of these young people will be voting. And that is nothing to scoff at. So they're out there being fed this line of nonsense for years and years and years and years and years, and now they finally believe it. And we can say, well, you know, they're children. Not necessarily, as I said, they're going to be voting in no time flat. So make a note of that. Well, some relationships don't really go all that well, and they go a little south. Well, how about a man was arrested for allegedly dropping explosive devices in Pennsylvania via drone on his ex-girlfriend's house. So he wasn't getting along with his ex-girlfriend. He was mad at her, and the 44-year-old guy was taken into custody and charged with a bunch of charges. Anyway, he attached these explosive devices to a drone, flew it over his ex-girlfriend's house, and was dropping bombs on her house with the drone. That's pretty high-tech. Anyway, let me see. A neighbor caught the event on cameras and called the cops. And there you go. So this idiot, this 44-year-old guy, faces a bunch of... I don't think you could drop bombs on anybody's house. There's probably a law against it somewhere, at least in Pennsylvania. Okay, fine. That's it. I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.